Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild. Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis is ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live somebody. Let's go.
Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys all doing well out there. Hope it's all good. Hope it's been a positive one for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Well, we got some things we got to talk about, baby. We got some things that we need to talk about. It's a conversation and a topic I haven't talked about in a very, 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 very long time. Let me just be real with that really quick. It's been a minute. It has been a minute since I have talked about anything within the realm, this subject matter, this topic. It has been a while. We've been talking about a lot of other stories, understandably, other stories that needed to be brought up and talked about as well. But we're here. We got to talk about this. And again, I am still paintingsless. I am sans painting right now. As you guys can see, those walls are empty right now. I said it in the last live. I'm going to say it again in this live too. I got an opportunity for you artists out there. Okay? I got an opportunity for you artists out there. So I'll explain that in just a minute before we hop into the show, before we go into this conversation and whatnot, just so y'all know. Okay? Because I love art and I want to give back as much as I can and give y'all some love when y'all deserve it, especially if it's good stuff. Man, it better be good stuff, man. Shoot, if it's not good stuff, then don't even try contact me. Okay, but some good news happened. This is the reason why the walls are empty right now, and I'll explain in just a minute. It might be hearing a broken record here in just a minute, but I'm going to say this for a little bit until everyone gets the memo. Okay? So before we jump at everything and before I give you guys the information about these walls and how they're naked and they need some clothing by your art, potentially, okay? We got to do some housekeeping, as you already know. Hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes really quick. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay, we got some things to talk about. Real talk, we got some things to talk about. So hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes. Okay, let's get this show started off in a great way. And then, of course, do not forget, please, and thank you. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button, okay? Subscribe. And of course, for those y'all who haven't hit that notification bell, do so as well. Hit the notification bell. Make sure it's hit to all so that you know when I upload, when I go live, because you know I go live and I upload randomly. Okay? Anyway, we got to get into some things. And of course, I got a little bit of an announcement to get this conversation going. Okay? So I need y'all's help. I said it earlier in a live. I'm going to say it again. I need y'all's help. Something good happened. This is the reason why the walls are naked. And now that you see these just nails just sticking out, you see that one right there? That one right there. Right there. You know what I mean? No, that's not a scratch on your TV or on your iPhone. Those are nails that were holding up paintings. Really beautiful paintings. Now, those paintings, great news, guess what? They were sold. Now, they were up on these walls, gracing us with its beauty and presence for a while. People saw them and they wanted to buy them. Now they gone. So now I have empty walls. I have a bunch of wall space that needs paintings, amazing photographs, whatever it is, hung right here. So this is why I say I need your help. Real quick. Okay, I promise we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of it all here just really, really soon. But this is where you guys come in. For those of y'all who are artists or you have friends or maybe your son or your auntie, the relatives, whatever, are artists and they want a chance to showcase their stuff on this show, boom. I got wall space, baby. So You want to occupy this space? Guess what? It's yours. All you got to do is contact me. Send me an email. I'll also say this because people have already been sending me emails. It's crazy how quickly y'all are like, yo, I do, or my best friend, or my son. Okay. One thing you guys aren't doing is sending me photos. I need the photos. I need proof. I can't just go, yeah, just anything. I ain't going to just throw up ish on the wall. You know, it's got to be approved by me too. I got to like it. So you got to send me photos of this stuff. Proof of said work. So I can go, okay, I'll put it up on my wall. Okay. Of course, no nudity, no nothing crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. None of that BS. Please don't. No artistics. You feel me? Figures, you know, the human figures. Don't waste my time with that, please. Okay. Just good art. You got walls that could be occupied with those. And then, of course, we can sell those. I'd be able to promote them and people could actually buy them right off these walls. And guess what? Here's the cool part. I am not taking any commission. I never have. And so far, I never will. Unless somebody's like, I'm willing to drop $1 million. I might be like, how about like a little song? You know what I'm saying? Because, but outside of that, no commission. Okay. So just so you guys know, plenty of space to put up your work right here on these walls. So send me an email, send me some proof of your stuff, and we will go from that point on. We will venture down the road. Okay. I need us artists to band together and support each other. So this is the reason why I'm leaving these walls blank until I get some stuff from people that actually has work that they want to share, and I will promote. Okay. If not, then I just put up stuff on the wall. I got another one here. Hold up. I even have this. Hold on. This is random, but I got this as a gift on one of my shows a long time ago, and I thought it was fire, but I had it in the background for a minute, but y'all started making fun of me because I had the this up, and it's of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird. It's my face, and then you see my face in the front. It's weird, but it's still a dope ass painting. Take a look at this. Hold on. It's right here. There you go. You see that? Pretty fire though. And it's got rocks, textured, etc. Pretty dope. Okay? Pretty damn dope. Okay? So I think somebody last time was like, what's that David Bowie painting in the corner? And I'm like, bruh, that's not, that is not David Bowie. Okay. So pretty amazing. Had it up for a little while. Then you guys gave me crap about it. So I took it down. Amazing artist as well. And it is of me. So it feels a little weird. You feel me? But I love that painting. Anyway, I digress. Just so you guys know, that's what I'm doing. All right. I tried it out with a friend of mine who's an amazing artist, an amazing painter. You saw those portraits. Those officially got sold. So we can do that. Stop. So it was good. Okay. So just so you guys know. All right. I'm trying to give these artists an opportunity and a place to put their ish. Photography, whatever that medium is, as long as I can't hang sculptures on the walls. Okay. So of course, your medium has to be either paintings or, amazing drawings, maybe, or photography. Okay. Just to make that abundantly clear. All right. Real quick, Abby Lorraine. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Oh, hey. Welcome to the family, baby. Yes. And just like Abby, you could do the same doggone thing. Hit the join button down below, baby. That's all you got to do. And it helps keep the lights on in here. Okay? It does. It really does. So hit that join button down below. I would really appreciate the support. Okay? We got to get into some things. We got some conversations we got to go into. And yes, we are talking about the Kohberger. Okay? We are talking about the nothing burger, which is Kohberger. Okay? So we got some things to get into, and there's a lot to cover. So we're going to go through this as best as we can. Lorene. Lorene? Hold on. Is it Loren? Loren? Oh, Loren. Yes, Loren. I don't know why I can't. I'm sorry. Loren. Abby, sorry, but thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I do appreciate that as well. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much. And I apologize for mucking up your last name. Okay? Yeah, we talk about birthing. Yeah, we talking about that man today. Yeah, I said Lo Renee. It's for blue. Shut up. I'm kidding. All right, we got to get into this, guys. All right. Lorene. Okay, Abby. All right. Abby Lorene. Thank you so much for joining the family. All right, we got things we got to talk about. Okay, guys. So just saying that, making that officially official, so y'all in the nosebleed seats know what I'm talking about. If you're an artist and it's good stuff, okay, it's got to be good. Don't send me no trash. Okay, just don't. Okay, and it could very well be up here. Okay, so let's get into this. Okay, Lorene. So Lorene. Okay, Lorene. Okay, see, Lorene. Abby Lorene. Thank you so much for the $2. Okay, we got to get into these stories. Okay, guys, as you see, and oh, dag nabbit. Okay, real quick, let me address that really quick. Yes, I was on the watch list. I was not on Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. Not yet. I hope one day. Shout out to Dr. Ritchie. Okay. I was on the watch list with JR. Okay. On Friday. So this past Friday, I was on there. And I had a great time. I've been there. That was the second time I've ever been there. So I had a good time. It was a good time hanging out with him, chopping it up, giving each other, we were roasting each other, having a good time and talking about things that are going on in the world politically. Okay. So I was on that talking about it. We talked about Trump. We talked about everything. Okay. And don't worry, we will be talking about Trump. I just want to see the mugshot. I want to see the mugshot first. Once the mugshot actually happens, we will be live. We will talk about it. I promise you that. Okay. I'm just waiting for it to actually happen because everybody's like, oh, we about to get it and die. Oh, we about to get charges. Oh, we about to get arrested. And I'm waiting for the actual arrest to actually happen. You see what I'm saying? I'm actually waiting for the mugshot instead of, oh, it's about to for 3 weeks. I got better things to do. Oh, it's about to go. Nah, I'm good. I'll wait. I will wait. And when he does get that official mugshot, we will be live and we will talk about it. I guarantee you that. Okay? I promise you that. What if there's no mugshot? Then I guess we won't talk about it then, man. Okay, Mary P? Why you gotta pee in my cereal, man? You know what I'm saying? Damn. I'm kidding. But allegedly, that's all going down tomorrow. And if it does go down tomorrow, we will talk about it. If he actually goes in, and he gets fingerprinted or whatever, I don't know what he's going to do. Whatever ends up happening tomorrow at whatever point it goes down, we will talk about it. Okay? Damn. But I would love to see the mugshot. Okay? That's all I got to say. Tammy Fletcher just said Pascal for president. You know? No. No. It's like the no from Get Out. No. Oh, good God, no. I'm sorry. That tickled me. All right. Zanita, what's up, girl? Yes, perp walk, at least something. A little something. I'm with it all day. I'll be like, yes. You know what I mean? He'd do throwing up gang signs while he's doing his crip walk like he Tupac. That's what I'm waiting for. But let's get into this conversation, okay, guys? We're way off the beaten path here, guys. And don't worry, I will do my best to put in chapters, time codes, timestamps within this show, because I know some of y'all be like, why it take you 16 minutes to get to the damn story? Damn. That's what I get all the time. So just so you know, I will be giving you guys timestamps, okay? Because some of y'all are not patient at all and don't like conversation, apparently. So moving on, we got to get into this story. And I haven't talked about this in a while. I've been talking about a bunch of other stories because other stories deserve that time under the sun. But we now know Mr. BK, Bryan Coco. I like to call him from time to time. Little Bryan Coco. There's been new information about this. Now, obviously, you guys saw we went through this whole like all the paperwork that went, like 769 pages of paperwork. I didn't go through all of it with you guys live, but there was a lot of it that came out, right? And now they're starting to come out with more information. There's an interview from a pastor, from his actual pastor. Remember, he just found Jesus. Let's not forget that. So there's an interview from the actual pastor that we need to look at. Of course, there's some more information and questions that are coming out here, wondering about if there's a connection between the four and Coco. And the thing is that if you really look at this, there may have been some sort of connection with one of these victims in the past. Maybe not as soon as this, a few weeks or a few months before this tragedy happened, but there could have been some sort of correspondence a year or so ago as well. So you see it right here. And don't worry, I'm going to get to all y'all's super chats and members joining stuff, all that. I'm going to get into all that here very, very soon. I appreciate all the support. Thank you. Okay. We got to get into this. Okay. So let's get into it. So you see it right here. And of course, I'm going to show you this other one too, because this is interesting as well. They say Bryan Kohberger may have known University of Idaho victims in 2021, according to, a friend of the show, by the way, Jennifer Coffin-Daffer. She put up a tweet that, understandably, it poses a lot of questions. Okay. So it says here, interesting. Let me blow this up so you guys can see this. And of course, I'm going to get into the articles here in just a minute too. But let's take a look at this. It says, interesting how far the search warrants went back in time. Why January 2021? Did BK, Coco, I've been calling him lately. Did Coco somehow meet Kaylee or Maddie on a possible school visit early on? Maybe BK chose what made BK choose WSU? Did BK have a nexus with his victims sooner than we thought? Now, of course, these are very, very good questions to pose. I mean, there's a lot to ask, right? And this is from some of the search warrants that were brought up. And of course, underneath it says here, that there was email addresses, phone numbers of email addresses for Maddie, same thing for Kaylee, Gonsalves. Then, of course, as well, Xana. Now, there are questions, right? There are questions out here of why would they want to have the information? Why would they want to have this kind of information? Why would they want to have the phone numbers, the email addresses, etc.? Why would they want to have search warrants for all that stuff? For all of them. And to me, that screams to me that there obviously is some sort of, there's something going on. There's clearly something going on. And maybe that there was some sort of correspondence in the past. You got to remember, these students were not just freshmen in college. They had been there for a while. What are the chances of him being out there and him actually running into them, etc.? Elisa just said that too. You know, established connections. Absolutely. There could very well be a possibility of some sort of connect here through emails. You got to remember, this guy had one of the victim's photos all up in his phone. All up in his phone, y'all. So clearly, something's up, right? Clearly, if you are doing the investigation into this, you're going to do your due diligence, looking into all of this as much as you can. So let's look at some of these bullets here. So Idaho officials have sealed the findings of their requests with TikTok searches going back as far as January 2021. More than 60 warrants were issued to companies like DoorDash, Verizon, Tinder, and Reddit as part of the investigation. And of course, there's been crazy questions about if DoorDash was BK and BK was DoorDash. Let me just say this really quick. I don't know why, and maybe I'm wrong here, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't know why true crime content creators have been creating content about DoorDash when we already have learned way before all this BS came out that there was a DoorDasher and that guy was cleared of everything. But everyone's like, wait, with making wasteful content, basically saying, could Bryan Kohberger be the DoorDash driver? No, he's not. He was not. They talked about they had a completely different dude that dropped off the Jack in the Box meal. Like, why? Like, why? Stop with that kind of content. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, y'all. Could he be the door? We already been known that, baby. We've been known that. It's in documents and everything. Stop wasting your breath on something that has nothing to do with the case. Please have mercy, okay? And that's kind of one of the reasons why I kind of took a good, decent step backwards, because I'm like, what is true and what's not anymore? What's true? What's fiction? Because I'm getting sick of this stuff, you know? And then it just goes circles and circles. Remember, do you remember when they said that Dylan was... Remember that? Remember the crazy allegations that came out of that BS? Like yeah. After that, I'm like, all right, I need a break. I need a break. No disrespect, but why are we going in circles on something that, like the DoorDash driver, like, let's not go through that theory when we've been gone through that theory before. Come on, guys. Okay. Moving on. Okay. Former agent and family friend of the show, Jennifer Coffendaver, has questioned if Kohberger could have come across his alleged victims at a much earlier date. And let's be real, y'all. That's a very, very solid theory. You got to remember, again, if he really is the dude that did this, because he's still in the court of law, innocent until proven guilty, right? Right. So if he did do this, I don't think he just went to houses and just went eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't think he did that. He clearly had this planned out. We've been talked about that ad nauseum. Okay? Ad nauseum. We've been through this. This man clearly had this planned out. Period, point blank. And maybe, the theory, at least my theory is, I think he believed he was about to concoct the perfect maniacal laugh and everything. He thought he was finding a brilliant way to get away with muerte. But guess what? He done got caught. Now there's new information though out there talking about the knife sheath and how the one place that was testing, one lab didn't find not a damn thing on it. They took it to another lab. That's when they found DNA on it, on this sheath and all that. And I'm telling you right now, hey, if that some labs have ways of doing things better than others. I guess that's what it is. And I know that there are people out here going, oh, they must have planted that DNA on the sheath. I really don't think it's like that, guys. I really don't think it's like that. Hold on real quick. I need to pull up this comment. This member's comment. Thank you so much for being Penny. Thank you so much for being a member for the past 2 months. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Okay. And Penny says, the more I hear about this case, the more confused I am. I don't know what's true and what's rumors. You know what? You are not alone. Okay. You are not alone. You're not alone in that story, because we all have that same issue where it's like, what is true? What's up? What's down? It's very frustrating. Okay. And Chikantique said, Pascal, lots of creators aren't sure BK is the guy. There's a lot of people that are now starting to sway back. I still think he's the guy. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to hold on to that until they give me actual hard evidence to prove otherwise. But why would they pick this guy out of the thin blue sky, okay, to be the fall guy? That doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? This man had something to do with this. And that's what I feel in my heart of hearts. Okay? That's what I truly believe. But at the same time, I get it. People are going to ask questions. But why would they pick this dude of all people? And I want to remind you guys, a while back, someone called onto the show and said something pretty damn brilliant. They said, what's his alibi? Where's the proof? Show me the Carfax. Show me proof, BK, Lil Coco. If you are innocent, show me the proof. Were you out banging some girl? Were you out having some drinks? Why were you in the area? Were you picking up some recreationals? What were you doing? Show us the proof that you were nowhere near that house and did not go into that house. To me, still, like I'm seeing right here, him guilty. Damn right, him guilty. Damn right, spin cycle. It's still the math for him that would maybe equate to him being innocent ain't mathing. And I will keep with that. I will keep with that until they give me solid evidence of him being innocent. But yet, so far, nothing has shown me innocence so far. Sure, reasonable doubt. You got to throw in those things. Yeah, there is that. But there's too much getting pitted up against him that puts him in the area at the time. Why be so weird? Why drive off to freaking Pennsylvania, driving around, picking things up, cleaning his car out the way he did, surgical gloves and all that. It is way too suspect, in my personal opinion. And if, you can sit here and say that this guy was OCD like a mug, then show me proof that he was showing up to classrooms wearing surgical gloves. Show me proof that he was going to other outings around where he lived in Washington State, around the campus. Show me actually him going and grocery shopping and doing his usual thing, wearing surgical gloves because of his OCD. Show me that proof. And then I will shut up. I'll be like, well, got a point there. But I have yet to see any of that. Show me Carfax on an alibi, a solid alibi, which he has not presented yet. We have not heard anybody come up and go, yeah, so I called him and he came over and we just, knocking the boots. I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen that. Or yeah, we were out, we hung out, we got wasted, we were playing Dungeons and Dragons all night. Let me see that. Again, show me Carfax. But let's continue here, shall we? So we already know court documents have revealed police are probing to see if there's any contact between suspected monster B. Coco and his 3 female victims over a year before the tragedy. Authorities have submitted search warrants to social media companies, including TikTok, which we talked about in the search warrants. It was in the very beginning, in the first 211 pages that I read to y'all, which ended up really being a big nothing burger. But at the same time, it was nice to hear that information. But they asked for information from Amazon, eBay, I mean, you name it, everything. Now, TikTok and Google, okay, which date back to 2021, 2021 of January, more than a year before this tragedy took place. Now, we already know he's being accused of what he's being accused of. And if you don't know, oh my Lord, you've been sleeping under a rock. But the Facebook and Twitter search warrants all have a start date from the search of June 2022, 5 months before the unalivings. But authorities have been looking over a longer period to see if Kohberger ever contacted or ever interacted with the 3 girls. And you know what? They might as well throw in Ethan in there too. You never know. You never know. You just never know. And these days, you just never know. All right? So interacted with them for over TikTok in the 22 months prior to the tragedy. So, we got some, we got some things to talk about, because this thing right here. You see where my mouse is right here? Sisters of Idaho suspect BK lose their jobs. We're going to be talking about that in just a minute. So hold tight. Like I said, we got some things to talk about, baby. So we talking tonight, okay? Like I said, I waited for a few things to build up, and then now I'm like, blow, right there on the table, blow, okay? So we got some things to talk about. Moving on. The search warrant requested messages, records, files, and logs for the accounts, as well as those which have been deleted. Police were also looking at images linked to the accounts, location data, including geotags, and all of the people who they followed, unfollowed, and blocked. Authorities have since made a bid for the findings to remain sealed until a future court date, but former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendaver has questioned if Kohberger could have come across his alleged victims at a much earlier date. She said the cops were trying to, quote unquote, look for a nexus, meaning a series of connections between Kohberger and the 3 female victims. Posting the documents on Twitter, she said, interesting how far the SW, which is the search warrants, went back in time. Why? And I know I'm repeating this again, but I'm repeating it again. Why January of 2021? Did Kohberger somehow meet Kaylee or Maddie on a possible school visit early on? What made Kohberger choose WSU, Washington State University, which of course he went and he was getting his doctorate in criminology and the sort. Did Kohberger have a nexus with his victims sooner than we thought? The criminal justice major attended Washington State University, which is less than a 10-minute drive from the University of Idaho. And of course, this is the information that we just looked at, but it's a little bit bigger now, of course, from what Jennifer Coffindaffer shared on her Twitter feed, asking a very good question, a solid question. Let's be real. It is a solid question, but I will say my opinion here in a second, obviously. It wouldn't be my show if I wasn't saying my opinion. I will say it in just a minute. Coffindaffer implied that Kohberger could have met one of the girls at an early school visit and questioned if that could have been a reason for him to attend WSU. It comes after it was revealed that the sisters of Kohberger have list their jobs. These typos on these pages have lost their jobs despite the family refusing to visit him in jail. Kohberger's arrest for the unalivings has severely impacted his family, who are struggling financially, the source told News Nation. His sisters Melissa and Amanda have been let go of their jobs because of their relationship with the accused monster. We already know he was arrested at his parents' home after a cross-country trip with his pawpaw or his pops. Okay, not pawpaw, but his pops. And of course, we already know the rest is history. Now, let me talk about this before we go into the sisters losing their jobs and stuff. We are going to be talking about that fairly shortly. But this thing here, where she's asking if there's a possibility of a origin, maybe that the first contact, or if there ever was some sort of contact way before this tragedy. It's a solid question to ask. I feel like that's a question that detectives and investigators into this case should be looking into. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to see how far back his obsession started, his focus started. In fact, him taking screenshots or saving those photos of that said person of that person that he has in his phone from their social media, even those, they can look into that phone and find out there's data that will tell them when he started to save those photos in his phone. It'll say April 2nd, 2023 in his phone. The data will show it. Okay? So yes, it's a logical thing. It's a logical thing to have those questions asked, and for the investigators to do exactly what they need to be doing right now. Damn right. This is exactly what they should be doing. If they're not doing it, then that shows the lack of inquisitiveness, I guess, the lack of inquiry that they have when looking into this crime, into these multiple crimes. If they're not asking that, then I don't know what else to tell you. Then that shows how brain dead law enforcement is in that area. But clearly they're not doing that. So it is a solid question to ask. But I will sit here and say this. There will be some sort of digital footprint, some sort of digital path. But I'm going to tell you this. I honestly do not think it starts January 2021. I don't think he moved to Washington State University for one of the girls. I don't believe that. I don't feel that in my heart of hearts. I think he went out there for school. During this time that he was in that school, he found them somehow. Maybe went to a party. Maybe went to one of their parties or something like that. Saw them and became obsessed. But I do not, and like I said, digital footprint is there. It's been there. They already have things, cell phone pings, so on and so forth. But I don't think it was like he went there on a college tour, went out to went out to Moscow, Idaho randomly, and then suddenly he's like, suddenly life has new meaning to me. Like, I don't think it's like that. I don't think it's that. I will be real. Has nothing to do with that. I don't think it was that far back. I think that it was the time between November, like the time between him meeting whoever he ran into and the November 13th, the tragedy, I think is a lot closer than January 2021. I think they're just trying to see how far back the digital footpath goes. That's it. Okay? That's what I feel. Now, I know, you know, shout out to Jennifer Coffindaffer, because these are good questions to ask anyway. I don't think it's that. I mean, but these are my speculations. These are my theories. Man, he could have been obsessed with them way before. And that could very well be true. But I don't see the pattern so far telling me otherwise. But, of course, we got to let 5-0 do their doggone job, right? And let them do the digging. Because they got to dig, right? You dig? So moving on, because that is very interesting. And still, no matter what, to me, I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. I got to say it, though. It still doesn't matter to me. Because if his obsession started in January of 2021, or if it started the night of, these 4 individuals are still gone. And that still makes him guilty to me. It doesn't matter if it happened in January or if it happened 3 minutes before the unalivings, before the tragedy. It doesn't. Sure, it explains a little bit more of the timeline, and it gives us a narrative that lets us sleep better at night, I guess, to a certain extent. But at the same time, what's done is done. These 4 are no longer here. Families are weeping still. So it doesn't change anything, in my personal opinion. Capiche? But it is interesting questions to ask, no matter what. Now, we got to get into this next part, okay? Which is, and I'm going to pull this up. Wait, hold up. Damn. Hold on. Damn. Hold on, guys. Sorry. So I'm going to pull this up. And I'm not going to dive into this article too much because it's very to the point. Let's keep it real. It's very to the point. And of course, real quick, before we move on to the next part of this subject matter, okay? Before we move on to this subject matter, please, very, very, very much, please comment and let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think he was out here trying to, slide into them DMs and saying birthing hips over a year before this tragedy? Or do you think it was a little bit sooner? Definitely comment. Let the fire off in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. But I will tell you that sure, maybe it was, but it doesn't matter. What matters is knowing if he was in that room doing said thing. We need to put him at the designated place at the designated time, doing this unthinkable thing. That's what we need. Okay? Now, we got to get into this piece too. And don't worry, we're getting to the pastor. Okay? Because yes, he has been shouting the blood of Jesus. So we're going to get into that in a second. But let's talk about this here really quick. It's quick. We got a clip to look at as well, which we're going to put our eyeballs on as well. Okay? So BK, Coco's sisters lose jobs despite family refusing to visit accused monster in jail as he waits to find out if he faces the ultimate. Okay? So here you go. We already see Melissa Kohberger, who was a counselor, and Amanda Kohberger, who's an actress, or who was an actress, reportedly lose their jobs over their relationship with their brother. And we already know Kohberger is going to be back in a couple months for his court hearing. I'm hearing through the grapevine that maybe the hearing might be moved or might be delayed, but that's just hearsay as well. Okay, that is just hearsay as well. But we got to get into this, okay? Because, you know, of course, Ashley Banfield had to put her 2 cents in, which understandably she had to. Okay, let's keep it real. All right. And don't worry, I will be getting to your super chats here in just a minute. I want to get to this clip and this piece here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Definitely hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this. And let's rock and roll, babies.
Therapist. Amanda was once.
Come on. Amanda was once
An actress, but then she sort of shifted to be a therapist in behavioral health. And those are important jobs, especially for their patients and their clients. The problem with those 2 ladies, their last name is Kohberger. They're
dun, dun, dun. Okay. So they both are in mental health. They are both working in that realm. Okay. Interesting, don't you think? I'm going to roll that back just a tiny bit so you guys can hear that again, because there was a little bit of a hiccup there. But I think you need to hear that one more again.
Health. And those are important. An actress, but then she sort of shifted to be a therapist in behavioral health. And those are important jobs, especially for their patients and their clients. The problem with those 2 ladies, their last name is Kohberger. They're Bryan Kohberger's sisters, and both of them were fired. Clearly, it seems they were fired because of who they are, but more who their brother is. Because there does not seem to be a coincidence where both of them had cause to be sacked from their professions. I don't know how you feel about the extended family. Some people are vengeful, others consider them victims. But one thing I can tell you, the sisters didn't do what happened at 1122 King Road.
Let me say this. I do not feel, and I'm going to ask you guys. I don't look at them as victims. I don't. I think it's the wrong term, the wrong terminology to be using in this particular situation. Yes, they are getting hit by the wave of scrutiny that their name has, that their brother is being accused of doing. But I will never sit here and look at them and say, oh, they're victims as well. They are not. I will not. I don't stand with that at all. I'm sorry. I don't. Now, yes, what's happening to them is unfortunate. I could see that it's unfortunate. Absolutely. And sure, I guess you could look at them as victims in a way because they are losing something against their will that they have no control over it and all that too. But I don't look at them as, oh, they're victims. I just don't. Definitely as, oh, yeah, Raven just said not victims. No, fallout, yes. I agree. It sucks for them. It really does. They could go and try to change their names, legally change their names, or go by their middle names or something like that. They could do something. I mean, obviously, this is just a harsh reality that they're living in right now. Okay? But let's continue. Let's hear what they got to say. But it sucks that they're getting hit by the wake of all this scrutiny. But I don't know. I don't know what you do in this kind of situation and save in a way, in a proper way to save face for your, not only just yourself, but your actual family name. Because you know for a fact, anybody out here walking around with last names like McVeigh or Dahmer or something like that, people automatically remember that what that name, that last name is synonymous to. It's a tough one. It sucks that they lost their jobs, but I don't know. Let me just play this.
And it's more than likely the sisters knew nothing about it, as did his parents know nothing about it. Some consider them all victims. So what are the morals of the Kohberger girls losing their jobs? What are the legal aspects of the Kohbergers losing their jobs? Our Alex Capriella has been digging into that and another development from the streets of Moscow, Idaho, probably not what you expected from the world of security. Big change, something very unique developing in Moscow. And he joins us now with what he's found out. Alex, what do you have?
Good evening to you, Ashley. I dug into the claim that both Amanda and Melissa Kohberger were fired from their jobs due to their relationship to Bryan Kohberger. I wanted to explore the legality of it all. It might seem unfair that someone could lose their job simply because they have a relationship with an accused criminal. But what I found out is that both Pennsylvania and New Jersey, the two states where those two sisters worked, are what are called at-will employment states. That basically means that an employer can fire an employee for any reason at all. Now, there are some exceptions to the rule, which you're going to hear about here in a second. And I do want to remind you, the employment attorney that you're about to hear from doesn't know the specifics of both Melissa and Amanda's cases, but we asked him his expert opinion based on the claims that these two women were fired from their jobs due to their relationship to Bryan Kohberger. Take a listen.
Then the question is it a violation of federal law or Pennsylvania law? And Pennsylvania follows the presumption of at-will employment. So at-will employment essentially states that an employer can terminate an employee for any reason, whether it's a good reason, a bad reason, or a completely unfair reason. Now, there's a lot of exceptions to that. There's public policy exceptions, there's disability exceptions, and there's a potential that maybe one of those exceptions applies. The disability exception might apply. For example, she may have told them that she had anxiety or depression in relation to the situation, which would be understandable.
Keep in mind, 48 states in America are considered at-will employment states. We're told the ones that are not are Delaware and Minnesota.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
So I say this because I have no place really to say anything except that it is unfortunate that they lost their jobs, but the place in which their job titles say a lot as well. You have two people that work in healthcare. Okay, two people that work in mental health. From what I recall, they both work as therapists. Okay. That is a very important job. But then you have a brother that does some unthinkable, heinous, mind-blowing thing, taking allegedly, let's just say that too, is suspected of taking the lives of multiple people. It could be a whole bunch of these, a whole bunch of their clients that basically said, nah, we don't want to be counseled by them. We don't trust them. Their brothers accused of doing something and could be looking at the DP right now, and they're going to counsel my problems. No, I don't want that. That could very well be what it is. But I will say this though too, and it is unfortunate. I will, because they're not the ones who did the crime. And in a way, that family is in that jail cell with him as well. They're locked up too, and it's unfortunate. But one thing I will say is they got to get a lawyer. That is basically all what that is. They need to get themselves a lawyer with the quickness and fight it. That's the only thing I could say. That's the only thing I could say. Okay. But yeah, you know what? Somebody just said, Mrs. Stoners. Okay. Hopefully your edible's kicking in now. She just said, hey, do a poll. You know what? I am going to do that. Why not? Okay. Why not? Let me do that real quick. Okay. Real quick. This is going to be a flash poll. All right. I just said, do you think BK's sisters deserve to be fired or to get fired from jobs? Yes or no? Flash poll real quick, because we are going to be moving on to the next topic here very, very shortly, okay? But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well, okay? Do a poll if you're high. So, and of course, I want to get to some of these super chats and all that too. So let me grab these really quick, and then we're going to move on to the next thing. Yes, it sucks for them. It sucks for them that they lost their jobs, but also the fact that their jobs are in a realm in which their brother could be showcasing some issues. It does potentially. Again, he's still innocent until proven guilty, guys. But it is kind of unfortunate, and I can see why clients may be very hesitant, being like, I don't know if I feel right being counseled by the Kohberger sisters. I could see that, but I could also see them changing this is the time to start changing your last name. Right now is the time to change your last names, period. Okay? This is the time to do it more than ever. But let me get to these super chats because I know I got a bunch of them here. So I'm going to get to them. And some new members, I think. Wait. Where did it go? Where did it go? Okay. Abby, thank you so much for the $50 super sticker. Whoa. Thank you so much for the $50 super sticker. Abby, thank you so very much. That really does mean a lot. The highest in the room. Thank you so much. Misty Fisher, what's up? Thank you so much for the 10, Pascal. For real, we need someone in the White House who loves the Lord and will not sell their soul, and who are the people, or who are for the people, not those who promise all kinds of stuff and never come through. Oh, I guess you're still talking about, I see hashtag Pascal for Pascal 2024. Maybe I need to get arrested, do a mugshot, and put that out, and then you guys will vote for me. Maybe that's what I'll do. You know what I'm saying? Wait, no. Sorry. Pay an adult film actress hush money for, doing things. You know what I'm saying? And then let me get arrested. And then let me get the mugshot. And then let me run for president. That's what I should do, right? And that's how it's going right now for DT. Right now. Sylvia, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much, Sylvia. And again, I gotta reiterate it, just like Sylvia, you can go and hit that join button down below. Become a member of the family. That'd be greatly appreciated, guys. Fuzz, thank you so much for the 2. Email, pretty please. Okay, I will make sure that we will put the email in the chat. I'll put that in just a minute. Or if Debbie is in the chat still, if you could put that in the chat for me, the email, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay? Because I know some people have some questions and want to maybe get their art on these walls. Okay? Let's continue. I think there was a couple more real quick. Where it be at though? JB, thank you so much for the 5. But why would the police doubt the first results and send it off to be tested again? JB, that's a very, very good question. Maybe they felt like they maybe they felt like there were certain things that the lab before wasn't able to do properly, and they wanted a more thorough investigation or thorough testing on the knife sheath. That could be it too. Or, we can go down speculation land and go, oh, maybe they planted it. I don't know, but like I said, why would they choose BK out of all things? Why would they pick him? There's plenty of other guys that have OCD and are socially awkward out here in these streets. There are plenty of other guys. So why him then? Why would he be picked out? That to me, I'm still, that's the pushback I have about that. It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Why him of all people? But moving on, a couple more super chats. I think I have like one more, maybe two more. Caesar, thank you so much for the $2. Buenas noches, Senor Pascal. Buenas noches. Cabron. Buenas noches. Hopefully you're doing well. Amber Rice, thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I do appreciate it. Sinan, thank you so much for the $20 super sticker. Thank you so very much, guys. I really do appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, guys. Let's see. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. I think that's everything. Oops. Nope, it is not. The Richard. The Richard, what's up? Thank you so much for the two. Sending love and aloha. I'm assuming you're watching in Hawaii. Thank you so much. And aloha to you as well. Okay, guys, let's continue on. I just wanted to make sure because I know those were from way back. Okay, but there's more. Okay, there's a few more things we got to talk about. Okay, but keep hitting that. All right, keep hitting that that poll. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. How do you feel about this? Okay, now there is about that one topic that we have above. But now let's talk about this. Okay, we did talk about this before. In fact, let me get that pulled up here. Let me make sure I have this. I like having those receipts. So a couple weeks ago, I did show you guys something of the likes of this. Okay, just this happened in the middle of last week. Okay, mid last week, University of Idaho suspect BK has found God and meets with pastor every Sunday behind bars. Inmate spills the tea. Apparently, inmates actually spill tea. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. No, I don't want any of that. So we did talk about this, and I said, hey, this is some crazy stuff. If this is true, this is some very crazy stuff. Him finding Jesus, him finding God. And I said, Mr. Pastor Man, do your best, do your damage, and get this man to confess. Ain't that the whole thing? Coming clean and being forgiven by God, the Holy Spirit, etc. Jesus will forgive if you actually say your sins. The act of reconciliation, the act of contrition, the act of confession. Ain't that the whole purpose? That before you go past those pearly gates, you get right with God, right? So if he did this, wouldn't he confess to the pastor? If he's really trying to get right with God? Because let's keep it real, as you're going to hear from from Banfield as well. It's true. A lot of guys, inmates, will find some version, their own version of God, right? It could be God, it could be Allah, it could be Yahweh, whatever. Okay? When they're locked up. So he's following in suit. And there have been plenty of other bad boys out here that have done some very terrible things, other monsters that are known to finding God, that are known to try their best to get right with God before they pass on. We've all heard those stories. We all hear it. Okay? And yes, Kyle King, I agree. The truth shall set you free. I said, you know what I mean? I'm in one of those tent, in those tent churches, just pouring in sweat, holding the good book in my hand, fanning myself with my handkerchief, and I'm saying, the truth shall set you free, right? So you expect it to be the exact same thing here, right? And guess what? He hasn't said anything. He hasn't said, oh, God, I done did it, Lord. Oh, please forgive me. He hasn't done that. He's done no, he hasn't even done that at all. In fact, the pastor actually gets interviewed. The pastor shows up and gets interviewed on Banfield's show. I kid you not. I kid you not. We got to take a look at this because this is way too crazy to me. This is way too weird. Why? Why are you on the show right now? What? Let's take a look at this, guys. This is real. He went on to a show and got interviewed to hear, so that we can hear how Bryan Kohberger praises the Lord. I'm not knocking Banfield. I'm not. I just don't think the pastor needs to be on here, in my personal opinion. But let's continue. Let's take a look at this.
Inmates end up in a jail. It is very boring. There's just not a lot to do. And so it is not unusual that they find God. It is not unusual that they regularly pray or take part in services and even meet with pastors. And as it turns out, that is exactly what has happened with Bryan Kohberger at the Latah County Jail. He leaves his cell at 7 p.m. on Sundays to join a service in the library and has taken up the offer of meeting with pastors who come to that jail to minister the inmates one-on-one as well as in the service. Bryan Kohberger has been doing that. Imagine it is a pretty boring existence when you're 23 hours of lockup in a segregated cell away from the rest of general population, and your only hour is either in rec, in the yard, or in the library. So if you get a little extra time to go and do some praying, that's not a bad hour spent. So what about the people who do the job? How hard would that be to make that decision? Joining me now is Mike Hall. He is the pastor who runs the group that meets with the alleged killer, Bryan Kohberger, at the Latah County Jail. He's also an executive director for Project Hope Idaho. That's a local Christian organization that teaches the gospel to prisoners. You are a fantastic man. You're a bigger man than I, Mike Hall. I think it would be a hard decision for me to make, to want to go face to face with some of the most alleged dangerous people out there. What made you make the decision to have your group minister to Bryan Kohberger, being that he was among the other inmates at that jail?
And really, it's just the heart is to bring the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ to the inmates, and the availability of forgiveness and grace that we all need, and being able to communicate that message to whoever happens to be there and is interested in in participating in the Bible studies.
Well, I am fully aware of the limitations that you have in discussing, ministering to Bryan Kohberger. That's privileged in any relationship between a pastor and a parishioner. Those are protected conversations even from the law. So I get you can't tell me what the two of you, or at least your ministers and Bryan Kohberger, have spoken about. But I am fascinated about the mechanics of it. Do they end up in Bryan's cell with him, given that he's in a segregated setup? It's not like the other inmates?
From the times that I've gone in there, there's a library where, we meet with folks. And so that's probably where that's happening. Again, like I mentioned, I haven't gone in recently. But, we just go in there, have Bible studies, usually about 20, 30 minutes, and pray together. And really the point is to bring the hope of Jesus Christ to people.
And I'm going to let him finish. I'm going to let him finish. All right, I'm not trying to pull a Kanye, all right, because Beyonce had the best. No. I'm gonna let him finish, but one thing I have to say, because don't get me wrong, I fully understand the need for faith, the finding of faith, etc. I understand that stuff. Okay, I'm not the most religious man on this planet. I'm not. But I do believe in there being some sort of higher being, an energy, whatever you want to call it. Everyone calls it something different. But this pastor, in my mind, a part of, and again, like I said, I am not someone who is reading the Bible every day, going to church every Sunday and all that. I'm not. But I feel a part of what this pastor's and what I'm going to say is maybe a little intense, and maybe people might get pissed off at what I'm going to say here. So just fair warning, because I know some people out here are very devout, extremely pious, mad love for every single last one of y'all. But I feel a part of his job, not only is it to teach people about the good book, but also direct them down the right path of righteousness. And a part of that righteousness is confession, admittance of guilt, asking for forgiveness, right? Now, I understand not everybody just quickly falls to their knees and confesses to the things that they've done, the sins that they've done in the past, the wrongs that they've done, begging and crying to the powers that be, asking for that forgiveness that they just need so that they can pass on. But there's a part of this right here that I feel that a part of his job is not only to preach the word to these men that feel lost in this place of darkness, finding light in this place of darkness and all that stuff, okay? But I feel also part of it is to get people to confess, to come to terms with the wrongs that they've done and to face it straight on. Ain't it though? Ain't that the whole purpose? In a way? Repent. Now, I'm not trying to turn this into church, because I'm not. Time out. I'm not, okay? Because I know some guys will be like, oh, y'all talking about Jesus. I'm not trying to talk about Jesus. I'm talking about his job as a pastor in a jail. Most of these guys are probably trying to find some way to feel okay to say what they did. Someone like BK, and of course, this may be unpopular opinion, but with somebody like Coco, I would think as a pastor, this is my opportunity to get him to repent, get him to confess of his sins, come to terms for what he has done, so that when he goes into that hearing on June 26th, in just a few months from now, he goes, I found Jesus. I found God. I have come to terms with the wrongs that I've done. I have repent. I feel and believe that I have been washed from my sins. I am pleading guilty now. And whatever comes to me, let it come, let come what may. Let the chips fall where they may. You see what I'm saying? Because let's be real, a lot of the people that he's probably talking to in jail ain't coming back out of jail. So it's not like he's growing his congregation with inmates that are probably going to be locked up forevers, right? So in my mind, I'm going, if I'm a pastor and I got somebody right there in front of me, I'm not sitting here saying manipulate. I'm just saying, using the good book, using the power, the powers that be, the writings, the teachings, to lead this man down the right of righteousness, down the path of redemption. And a part of that redemption path is confession, is repentance. Is it not? So that's so weird to me that he's coming on to this live, to this show, and saying these things. And I don't know, maybe he's thinking that this is going to add more to his congregation. And in my mind, I'm going, Pastor, sir, get him to confess. Because right now, he's finding God and he's still lying. If he really did what he did, if he really did what we're all believing that he did, he is still lying to you. He is still lying to the God that he's praying to, that he says he finally found. So he's not repenting. He's not asking for forgiveness. And I don't agree with that. And I know pastors aren't priests, true, but they do know the book. They do know that it's important to speak certain things, to talk, use that book, use the teachings from those books, and spill it into the next person. Pour the good word, the good book, into the ears of listeners. Bryan Kohberger is a listener right now, and he is desperate to try to find something. He obviously is I feel like he may be hovering around, like he's scared as hell. He's alone. And maybe he's thinking, man, I need to get right with the powers that be, because there's some bad stuff coming to me. And in my mind, I'm like, this pastor should be, man, I'm not saying manipulate, okay? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there needs to be more. I don't know. Yeah, and L, that could also be it too. I was thinking that too. He may just be bored and he just needs to be around somebody and all that. And he doesn't want to be around all the other riffraff that may be in that prison, okay? Or in that jail right now. And a lot of times he's alone and he's just watching TV. He gets the remote, so he gets to watch whatever the heck he wants, right? But a lot of times he's on his own. Maybe he's on the path of trying to get right with somebody, or whatever's in his soul, whatever's percolating in his body, he's not feeling right about. And so maybe he's trying to find it through this pastor to justify his feelings. But in my mind, I'm going, okay, pastor, I know you ain't a priest, but damn it, get him to talk. Get him to repent. But let's continue.
And and to be able to help them to, discover a new way to live, that is centered around following Jesus Christ.
I like reading some of the things you say. The gospel is meant for all of us. For all of us have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. The evil one, the devil, comes to steal and kill and destroy, but Jesus came that we might have life. Bryan Kohberger's never shown any history of interest in religion, but are you finding that suddenly he certainly has?
Good question.
Well, like I mentioned, the guys that are going in as a part of this team, they won't even, share details with me. So I don't know.
Not for lack of trying, though, right? And I do respect. Not only the fact that you've got the pastor privilege with your team, but also there's the non-disclosure agreements and the gag order in this case. So you're running a sticky wicket and you're doing a great job of it. But I do appreciate you sharing me tonight. And you're doing very, very difficult work that not a lot of people would want to do. Mike, thanks for being here. Appreciate it.
And let me say this too. I mean, I give this pastor a whole lot of props because it's not an easy job, and it's not a job that everybody wakes up, as kids going, "Ooh, I want to be a pastor to, inmates that are in jail." So I give him mad props for what he's doing. I'm sure it's not an easy job. And yes, his job is to just be there and lead people towards God, lead people towards faith. But then again, I feel, there's just so much more that could be said or accomplished when you have that one-on-one time with someone who is maybe trying to find ways to find redemption, but they don't know how. And one of them is, if he really is guilty of doing said thing, if he really did this thing, in my personal opinion, a part of that is asking for forgiveness for doing said act. S Dubs, what's up? Thank you so much for the 5. The pastor's job is to encourage them to God. For BK to be forgiven, he needs to confess and atone, which includes admitting guilt if he is. Now, yes, exactly what I've basically been trying to say in so many different ways. And I'm hoping that that's what this pastor's trying to do. Because I'm not going to sit here and say that he's not. But I'm hoping that he's trying to get him to come to terms with the bad things he's done and try to find some semblance of forgiveness for himself through finding faith. Why do you think, and I guess a part of me goes, why would he go and try to find faith now? Why suddenly is he trying to find faith? What? Because he's going for some sort of like a Hail Mary, pun intended. Is that what it is? He's suddenly trying to go for a Hail Mary. Oh man, I need the miracle of God to be found. I need God's grace to save my ass. I don't think that's the case. And it could very well just be boredom. But at the same time, I'm hoping that he, through the studying the good book and having his sessions with this pastor, maybe he will lead him down the path towards righteousness, and he will confess, and just like S. Dub said, confess and atone for his sins. Walks into that hearing and says, I'm guilty. And that's it. But we'll see. We shall see. Because for a fact, he's watching News Nation. He's watching all these shows. He's watching CNN, NBC, MSNBC, Fox News, all those. He's watching everything. So anytime that he is brought up, he's watching that ish. He knows exactly what's going on. He could be manipulating this whole thing and just having a grand old time and acting a damn fool. That could be it too. But we're going to have to sit back and wait and see what happens here. Now, this just recently popped up like just a few minutes ago. So I wanted to share this with you guys because, of course, they're talking about what we just talked about earlier in the show, but I'm going to show this to you guys now. So, of course, they say Idaho. This is Dan Abrams. He says Idaho suspect BK may have met victims a year before this tragedy. So let's take a look at that. Shall we? Let's take a look at it ish. Okay. Hit the number one. Let me know that you guys can hear this. And of course, do not forget to hit that like button down below. Crush it. Make it scream out your doggone name. That would really, really mean a lot. And of course, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay. Let's rock and roll.
Theory tonight in the University of Idaho homicides, and it may provide new.
Oops. Come on.
Into Bryan Kohberger's mindset and possible motive. Kohberger, who was arrested in December and charged with the deaths of 4 students, may have come across his alleged victims at a much earlier date than first thought. More than a few weeks, more than a few months, more than a year. 2 weeks before the murders, Kohberger reportedly sent a series of messages to one of the victims on Instagram, according to People magazine, which is what many thought was the earliest contact he had with the victims. The recent court documents show authorities submitted several search warrants to social media companies, which date back to January 2021. That would put us back nearly 2 years before the murders. In a tweet this weekend, former FBI agent and News Nation contributor Jennifer Coffindaffer said, "Interesting how far the search warrants went back in time. Why January 2021? Did Bryan Kohberger somehow meet Kaylee or Maddie on a possible school visit early on? What made Kohberger choose Washington State University? Did Kohberger have a nexus with his victims sooner than we thought?" Could also be that they're just trying to make sure they don't miss anything. But let's ask the person who said it, former FBI agent, News Nation contributor, Jennifer Coffindaffer. Thanks very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it. All right, so take me through this. Your theory is that they're asking about January 2021, not just to be inclusive, but because they may actually know something?
Well, whenever you're a law enforcement officer and you're meeting with your prosecutor and you're putting together these search warrant packages and subpoenas that we haven't even seen, you very specifically outline the date range that you want. And you have to have a reason for wanting this date range. I think it's very interesting. It specifically tunes into TikTok, Tinder, and then also Google. And it also is very specific to particular people. Ethan is not even considered in these particular set of warrants. And so I think that gives us some clues. It tells us that law enforcement believes possibly that they had a connection well prior to the time frame we thought. And that could either be through social media or through physically meeting them on a visit there.
And you think that it's possible that he may have chosen Washington State University to get his degree or to study because of some sort of Washington State relationship connection to the victims?
I think it's possible. Certainly law enforcement is going to be looking in every direction, including that direction. Could that have led him to choose this university clear across the country from Pennsylvania, where he had previously attended for his undergraduate and his master's degree? What took him there? That has to be at least considered. And when you look at this time frame they chose, I think that gives us a pointer as a possibility.
And the search warrants call for E11 all activity logs of the accounts, including who the account followed and unfollowed, location data, and messages sent or received from the account. So should we expect that all of that information will be turned over?
Oh, yes, it'll be turned over. And another reason why law enforcement likes to limit their date range to what is pertinent and what they believe could lead something in their investigation that would be important is you don't want to go over, all of this information going back too far in time. It is so much to look at. If you just see this document dump, they call it, or documents that you see, it's hundreds and hundreds of pages long. Imagine what the returns look like. It's going to be thousands of pages long. So there was a reason that they put in these specific parameters.
Jennifer, thank you very much for coming on the program. Appreciate it.
Now, what she said, and it's interesting because you guys notice that Dan Abrams' face is kind of swollen. Did he get like surgery in his mouth or something like that, or he get a tooth pulled or something. Interesting. It's just interesting. If you, let me just throw that back. I know that's just random, but if you look at his face, doesn't it seem a little bit like on the left side of his face? Doesn't that look a little bit swollen? I don't know. Random thought. I just saw it. And I'm like, damn, he okay? But it's a little bit smoother over here, rounder. It looks like he had like a surgery, you know, something. But anyway, and it's only on one side, guys. And it could be bad makeup. That could be, or bad lighting. That could be it too. But anyway, hopefully he's okay. But regardless, you hear from Jennifer Coffin Daffer herself, her saying that there could be a possibility of she's exercising this theory. And it's a viable theory. It really is. It may be a stretch. It may not be 100% accurate, but of course we are all running around here with our theories and speculations and whatnot. Sure, maybe his obsession happened a year before the tragedies happened. Then again, maybe not. Maybe it happened just a few months before. We don't know everything as of yet. We've heard stories of him going into the Mad Greek. We've heard stories of him going and getting vegan pizzas, etc. But we have not gotten anything that it really confirms him doing any type of lurking, any type of following of these girls and whatnot. I'm still waiting to see it. I'm still waiting to see more information, but it's a fair theory. It's a fair theory, but it's just still a theory. So, and of course, there's still questions on if there was a date of some sort with any of the girls or if there was any type of interaction. We still don't have those answers yet. We don't. Hopefully we will, but we just don't have them right now. But man, craziness has been going on as of recently. Let me close this poll really quick. I'm going to end that poll. And I said, do you think the BK sisters deserved to be fired from their jobs? 82% of y'all said no. So we all agree. They didn't deserve that. You know, they don't. They don't. It just sucks that they're just in the wake of this tragedy, that they're getting hit by this tragedy. The Kohberger family, all of them, even the parents, they're going broke right now because of everything that's going on. And that's tragic. It's a tragic situation. But Bryan Kohberger, if he really did this, again, if he really did this, he should have thought about the repercussions that come with this type of ridicule. When you get caught doing something like this. So, you know, my thoughts and prayers go out to the family. If they didn't have a hand in the way he has molded into the monster that he is allegedly, I will say that, because we still have not heard anything or learned anything about his upbringing so far and how he could be, how he was raised and all that. We don't know any of that yet either. So it is frustrating. It is a sad situation for sure. But real quick, guys, I do want to know, because, you know, obviously there's some other stories, there's other cases, there's other pieces that I am planning on talking to you guys about. But if there's any particular cases or stories that are popping off right now that you would like me to cover, please, by all means, like send me a message or something like that, because I am looking for more stories and topics to cover. I was thinking about doing the Letitia Stout case, you know, that trial, but it looks a mess. At least today's trial, today's first day was kind of a mess. And I don't know if I really want to sit around 8-9 hours watching mess. Okay. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that as well. Because, you know, of course, there's plenty of stories that we need to be covering. And just wanted to get your opinions on that, you know? Love having these discussions as a family. And yeah, just trying to figure out the next story, the next thing to look into. Okay? So anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Real talk. Again, like I said, very, very beginning of the show. You know, if you're interested, you're an artist, you want to get some of your paintings, your art on these walls, I just need 2 pieces. So it's like 2 of your best work. We'll talk through emails and all of that, and we'll get it figured out so that we can have these up on these walls. And hopefully someone will like them and buy them right then and there during one of our lives. Okay? These walls, I'm hoping, will continue to be your walls. Okay? So please comment. Or not comment, but message me. That would be greatly appreciated. And of course, also, I got to jump off here. Stephanie just said, I'm going to send you something, Pax. Okay. Oh, Pascal. Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate it. But before you guys all head out, be sure to hit that like button down below. Crush it. Make it scream out your name. Send it past whatever number it's at right now. Send it past 600 likes. That would be really amazing. Of course, if you haven't done it yet, crush that subscribe button. You know your boys out here working hard to give you guys the conversation, the stories that you need for the day. So please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hit that join button down below. Consider hitting that join button down below. And of course, hit that notification bell to all so that whenever I go live or whenever I upload a video, you are there getting the information quickly. Okay? That would be awesome. All right. So do those small things for me. Thank you guys so much. And yes, thank you to the mods for holding it down. You guys have been really, really great. Thank you so much. And I got to get going. All right. It's been a long day. And we got many, many miles tomorrow before we sleep to go to go over. Many stories. You hear that? That's paper. Many stories in this book. So we gotta cover them, and we're gonna do that. So anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all. I gotta get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in the next show. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.